I think the turning point as far as molding who I am actually came at an extremely young age, in the sense of being 7 years old, a second grader, when my father passed away. And those who know our family know for a fact that my dad died in 1962. And my mom, who was of the old guard and is still, took the firm belief that as a family unit, she would dedicate the remainder of her life to her two boys, and which she did. And within that, she will often tell you up to this day that one of her regrets is the fact that we, her children, didn't have an opportunity to truly enjoy and experience childhood as normal kids do. But I often contested that line of thought, and still do to this day, because I would not have changed our childhood for anything. I think it brought us to understand at a very young age loyalty, responsibility to one another. And more important than anything else is success and failures of a family are the rewards that you reap together, and when sorrow happens, you cry together. And that kind of has been the focus and the foundation for, I believe, the backbone of our family. It all stems from my mom. She's an incredible person, one who has remained consistent in her 86 years of existence, and to this day is the matriarch that we all look to for sound advice, guidance, and support. That has really been what has shaped who I am today, as understanding that humility and staying humble not only to yourself, but never feeling, as she would say, la zorra no se ve la cola. It's an old saying or an old dicho in Spanish. In other words, there are times when even a skunk can smell up a room and they don't even know they're doing it. So the translation to us is truly, don't ever think you're too good for anyone's situation. And that kind of keeps a person grounded in everything they do. And with that type of a frame of mind and that type of a working relationship, I really feel that that has been the base for the successes and the opportunities that have come my way in this wonderful career that I've had. If you were to come across those who I had the honor of teaching in my class, that the bulk of them would tell you and have me listed on the top of their list as one of the very best teachers they've ever had. And it's something that I've always tried to instill in young teachers coming into the profession. If you set a goal for yourself, then set the goal that you will be the finest teacher that those kids who you have on any given year, when they become 20, 30, 40 years of age, and when someone asks them on the street, who was the best teacher you ever had, your name comes up first. If you kind of establish that as a working norm, then you're kind of guaranteed to go in and day out and perform at your utmost. So again, one of the biggest accomplishments is running into former students who are now well into their 40s and saying, Mr. A, thanks, you know what, you were the best teacher I ever had. Accomplishments now is, my gosh, it's opening Ontiveros School, watching that school from a piece of dirt in the northwest section of town to building a faculty, building a school community, and making that school from start to finish and establishing a culture that I'm proud to say is still withstanding today. I'm real proud of some of the work that we've done with local companies such as Comcast, and having the entire district, over 40 miles of fiber connecting our district to a wide area network and connectivity. I'm extremely proud of our new school that's currently being built right now, and ahead of schedule, I might add. But most of all, I'm proud of our folks who have adjusted to the changes of Santa Maria. Our families, for the most part, are needier. Our families, for the most part, depend on education more than ever before. And it's an honor to work with people who get it, who understand what the needs of our parents are and our needs of our students and the challenges that they face. And that we do have to do a little bit more for our families. And we do have to stay a little bit longer at night working or staying up and getting a little less sleep to make sure that our kids get what they need because they deserve it. But those are the things I'm most proud of. Yeah. We have to be their advocates. We have no choice. We're given the gift of being advocates for those families. And advocacy comes in a number of ways. Advocacy doesn't just happen during the school bell hours. It doesn't just happen from 8 until 2 or 3 o'clock. And that's what I see happening more in Santa Maria and in the Santa Maria Bonita School District more than ever before, and that is an understanding that schools cannot shut the doors, the lights, at 2:30 when the kids go home. That our social connections with organizations such as CAC, they have to remain firm, they have to remain alive, because our families are the community's families. Our families are CAC's families, Head Start's families. It's all related. And to think that our job ends at a certain time and the baton is passed over to another agency to carry on the task there, all that is going to do is lose some of that line of communication and effectiveness that is only going to benefit our parents if those lines are solid. It does open a window of opportunity that might not open in any other fashion. It is, in my opinion, still a gateway to success. The new term being used, you hear often, career and college-ready students. It has to be a goal. It has to be a goal because so many of our kids at this point need to be able to envision themselves in roles and in positions that some of them might not see at this time. And it has to be us who opens those doors, who identifies those gifts and those talents that our students have and says, think about this. Think about and envision yourself in this type of a job. Look at the gift that you have now and look at what that gift can do for you if you take it into the future. Those types of motivational statements need to be consistent throughout our kids' careers. They're suffering enough. They see enough hardship. They see enough ugliness out in this world, sad as it is. But we have to be the one to say to them, despite what might seem as a distraction or something that might stop you as an obstacle from achieving what you can, we're not going to let that happen to you. You're going to go forward and be the best person you can be, and you're going to have a support system that believes in you. And that's what really does make a difference. One of the things that I think the community at times is rather shocked when they hear is there is a large majority of the parents in our district who have yet to achieve a high school diploma. And when you have children whose parents have yet to receive a high school diploma, it adds an additional challenge to those families. Number one, the educational level of the parent many times was not due to anything that they threw away. But there were hardships in their lives. There were things that they had to tend to first. There was survival, pure survival, that put them in situations that may not have been optimum for them. So we owe it to our kids to get them that education that they need. That education that our kids need today doesn't just end when the school bell rings. And by that I mean this whole new model that's starting to evolve and change more than ever before involves school, the educational system, with the outside organizations that also offer support in the social areas for our families and our kids. Education is nonstop. Education is 24 hours a day. It has to be that way. Kids are learning all day long, not just out of books, but they're learning about life, and we have to be able to provide them that support system that builds their confidence and that gives them a vision of what they can be. And if in fact education is a situation for these kids where they're not seeing where they need to be, then we really need to reevaluate the message that we're giving our kids. It's critical because the system is there for them to succeed, and we just need to make sure that education is accessible to all. Yeah, it's really simple. There isn't really much to my message, friend, but the depth of it is really up for each of us to decide, and that is believe in your community, believe in the community members, all groups, and show it, not just by words, but show it by action. Show our people that you care. Show the members of our community that they are a priority and that you do believe that the successes of each individual in mass become the success of an entire city. That might seem like a lofty, rose-colored goal, so to speak, but it can be achieved. If the belief system is there, if we commit as a unit, as a community, to delivering that message, it can happen. And the last thing, as far as over the years, what I have seen to be a critical piece, and many times, as crazy as it might sound, overlooked, is we have to teach people, we have to teach young people the importance of loving themselves, of really knowing who they are, of really knowing that they're of value, of really knowing that they make a difference, and how important it is that they care about their own being. Because too many young people don't have anyone who tells them that they're loved, that they're valued, and that they are a treasure to have walking on this earth. And I think that's part of what we have to do, is we have to make sure that our young people feel good about themselves, have the confidence in who they are as a person, because that will grow, that will send that message out. And if they become the messengers to other kids, it even gets better and even stronger.